Today, let us start with a very I won't say it to be simple, but then a very important thing which is called conditional formatting. Before we jump onto any charting, let's look at conditional formatting today. So conditional formatting is nothing but uh, what is conditional. Okay, anyone who wants to volunteer and say what is conditional formatting? In Excel, we have that, right? Everyone.
Based on
Oh,
data, we can have different colors and mappings.
correct. Absolutely correct. So yeah, so based on a data, we do like based on some conditions, we do a formatting, which can be highlighting, which can be do any kind of a thing to flag out a certain inference that you have done from your data. That is conditional formatting, whereby you want to highlight the customer or the client or the end user, whoever it is, to the graph, and you want to show them that what, this is something that we have inferred, and I want your special attention towards this area of the chart. So having said that, so let's look at conditional formatting and how we can achieve conditional formatting in Tableau. So let me put subcategory into rows and sales into, say, text. So now what do I have is subcategory, and for each subcategory we have the text over here. So let's do a descending. So now what we have is a descending ordered, descending ordered thing, which will have descending ordered thing on subcategory, whereby it shows me the numbers from highest to lowest. So now what I need to do is I need to look at the numbers from an from a numbering point of view, and I want to do an indexing kind of a thing, whereby I want to assign these numbers as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So that is called an indexing. So it is a very simple function whereby you need to go to the create calculated field and name it as index, and you can have it as, like, there is something called an index function in there, and you can choose the function, which is a default table calculation. Whenever you see a default table calculation, you know that indexing is also present in your table calculations. So I'll just do an apply and okay. Now see, if I pull it over here, so I don't get the desired results, right? So let me not do this. If I put it there, see, it is giving me, the numbers in accordance to the values over here, and it is giving me the thing, but I don't want it to be like this. So this is the reason that why it is giving me an aggregated view. Anyone who wants to volunteer and tell me why is this giving me an aggregated view? What type of value gives an aggregated view? No one. Okay. So you remember we had discussed discrete and continuous, and I told you, like, continuous stuffs come in green pills, and discrete comes in as separate ones. So if I remove this, you will see that this is giving me separate values, because this thing is uh, this is a discrete value. However, when I pull in index over here, index I'm wanting to it to be 1, 2, 3, 4 as well, but it is giving me an aggregated view. So that's not something that I desire. So what I'll do, I'll remove this. I'll go to index. I'll right click over there, and I have an option called convert to discrete. So what I'll do is I'll convert the index into discrete. And now let me pull it in the workspace. So once I pull it in, you can see that it is giving me a number as 1, 2, 3, 4 up till 17 as indexing, right? Now this is not an index function uh, that we want to learn, but we are going towards conditional formatting. So for that, we need to make some of the preparations ready so that we arrive at index function. We arrive at the conditional formatting things, and all the conditions and all the preparations are done from the first, so that we can achieve it. Excuse me. So now that we have the indexing, now let us set the goal that, like, you know, say suppose I want to highlight, say, the first 10 sales from row 1 to 10. Okay, let's do that. We have the values. Now say I want to highlight the first to 10, the top 10, basically top 10 sales from row 1 to 10, whatever is my top sales. So for that, what we need to do is, along with index function, we need to create another calculated field which will be telling that, that if it is top 10, then perform certain things. So for that, what we will do, we need to create another calculated field, and let me name it as top n. Okay, and over here, now that I have already created the index function, so what I'll do is I'll just pull in that index field, and I'll do it as less than equal to n. Okay, now apply and okay. Okay, so now that I've created the top n, just check what kind of a value it is. Anyone who so the values over onto the left is visible to you guys, right? Beside all, yeah. So what is the data type for top n? If you see this value to your left,
Number,
sorry,
integer.
integer. No. See over here, the hint is also there.
A Boolean, true, false.
Right, right, correct. That's correct. So it's a true and false. So it's a Boolean data type, right? So this top n index, the top n field that comes in, that is a Boolean. Now, what was our aim? Our aim was to highlight top 10 sales, right? So what we will do is we will drag this top 10 onto colors. Once we do that, see, as it is a Boolean, it comes as true and false. And what happens is, now my first 10 rows are highlighted. Okay, so if you just click over here, here, and or over here, and if you do an exclude, so you will see apart from that, you will see all the values below. Correct? You won't see why, because we have taken as false. False condition is basically all the sales apart from the top 10 that comes up. Okay, so yeah. That's how you conditional format the values. Okay. Now say someone tells you that kindly highlight the bottom 5 for me, right? So for that, what you will do for this one, for uh, top 10, I had chosen what? I had chosen I had chosen the functions index and top n. Now the demand is that I need to see how is the bottom part done. So for that, what we will do, we will again, pull in sales and subcategory. So subcategory and sales is pulled in. So now what we have to do, we have to do a bottom, correct? So for bottom 5, what we will now do is we will again create a calculated field, and now we will name it as last. Why last? Because what I'm doing is I'm pulling the last function from the available function list. And see, once I choose the last, it gives me returns the number of rows from the current row to the last row in the partition. Correct? So I'll do an apply. Okay. And I pull the last. Why is it giving me again an aggregated value?
It's not discrete.
Because it is continuous and we have to make it discrete. Okay. So again, I have to convert it to discrete. And now let me pull in. Okay, let me not do it in over here. Let me do it in the same sheet. It will be easy for you guys to grasp as well. So now what I'll do is I'll pull in the last function. Say suppose over here. Okay. Now see the indexing for last happens. So okay, one more thing is index. When we use index function, the indexing starts from 1. When we use any other, like a last function, the indexing starts from 0. So that's why we have 16 to 0, which is 17 only, but then it starts from a 0. Okay, so what happens using the last function? Once we use the last function, what happens is we have this last values over here. Okay, so it starts from 16, 15, 14, etc. Now we have chosen the last value. Now we need to create another calculated field. Why? Because we need to define this last function and tell it that, boss, I need the bottom 5 values. Correct? So let me go and create another calculated field. Let me name it as bottom bottom n. Now I do an apply and okay, but it is giving me a problem because that's so now over here I've not written the function earlier. Now what we have to do in bottom n, we have to define that last. Now we already have the field last is less than or equal to 4, right? Why 4? Because indexing starts from 0. So 4 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values, right? So last is less than equal to 4. Now I do an apply and then okay. What happens is we get the bottom. So now let me drag the bottom in and you see what happens is the bottom 5 gets highlighted, right? Any difficulties in understanding? Clear, right? This is pretty simple stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect. So now a question may come. Does any question come to your mind at this scenario? No. I'll raise a question. Okay. I'll raise a question. If I want both, then how do I do that? Because if I drag in top n to color, bottom n goes. And then if I want bottom n, then top n goes. Because why do they go? Because Boolean functions cannot reside together. Okay. So is someone unmuted? Do you want to say something or something? Okay. So yeah. So now we have the bottom. So now what we need to do is we need to create something which will show me bottom five and top five. Maybe say top five. I want to see. So what we will do now, we will create another calculated field. See, I'm doing it for the conditional formatting, but it is a one kind of a logical formula writing as well, which please go ahead and practice for yourself so that you don't have a problem understanding the formulas or writing things. It's pretty easy. So let me name it as top five and bottom five. Okay, now the condition is what do I want? Index. Now what I want is index is less than or equal to 5, because what I want is top 5 and then I want bottom 5 as well, right? So I need to use an operator, and or not. So what should I use? Because I need to suffice both my conditions. So for doing both the conditions, what do I need to use?
Or.
Or. So or. Now the condition will be last, because I already have created last is less than or equal to 4, right? Clear? So this will give me my index is less than equal to 5 and last is less than equal to 4. Let me apply and okay. And now let me drag this guy to colors. So see what happens is now I have my top 5 and I have my bottom 5 numbers highlighted, right? So that's how you can showcase conditional formatting to your customers and see like how they want to, however they want to see. You can do a conditional formatting so that this raises curiosity, and they get to see like how our conditional formatting done. Okay. So now that we have this, while you are working on a dashboard or something, what you can do is you don't, at that point of time, you don't want to show this index and last, because that is not something they want to see. So you can hide it. So how do you hide it? You go to this pill index, right click, and there is something called show header. Just click on show header. Then you go to last, and then you do a show header. So what happens now, the values are in accordance to your subcategory, and see, after every subcategory you have a value that is conditionally formatted, and the person seeing it won't know like what is happening in the background, but they will see a result as they want to see. So that's all about conditional formatting, guys. And that's how you can work on it. Okay. So do explore conditional formatting, do explore the values, the codings, and use it as per your wish. So I'll just clear it.